Any health-related information on the following show provides general information only. Content presented on any show by any host or guest should not be substituted for a doctor's advice. Always consult your physician before beginning any new diet, exercise, or treatment program.
Welcome to Accelerated Health with Sara Banta. I'm a wife, mom of 3, and an NAP certified supplement professional, but that's not all. I'm also the founder of the awarded 4 years in a row most innovative health supplement company, Accelerated Health Products, a brand offering innovative natural scalar enhanced supplements to optimize your health. Today is a little different. We are bringing one of you on. Krystal Peters is a practitioner, but she's also a customer, a client, and someone that is just so passionate about using some of our supplements here. And so all of the awards in the world don't mean anything unless they actually work for you guys. So I wanted Krystal to come on and tell her story. Welcome, Krystal. How are you today?
Thank you. I'm doing fantastic. Better every single day.
Awesome. And that's the goal, right? Our goal is to continue getting better on our health journeys, feeling better. I know that at the age of 49, I feel better than I ever did in high school or college. And a lot of people can't say that. So hopefully that gives people some hope. And your story hopefully gives people some hope. So why don't we start with, why are you in this industry? What has been your health journey? Because usually there's a pain to purpose plan.
There certainly is. You know, it's interesting because my pain to purpose only came really in the last few years. My interest in the human body is just, I feel like I was just born with it. I just love our bodies so much, and I'm so intrigued by how they function and what they do for us. I've always really, really just enjoyed it. I had an aunt who, not by blood, but kind of by friendship, I call her an aunt, was a holistic physician. And she told me very early on, I think I was about 8 or 9 years old, she said, "You're going to be a healer." And I was like, oh, okay, well, that's cool. But, you know, originally I wanted to be a pediatrician. I wanted to help kids. And my path has been quite an interesting one. And up until last year, I really didn't understand how the pieces all went together, to be completely honest. It kind of felt like I had made mistakes. It had felt like I had some regrets. It felt like, you know, I didn't understand everything. And then last year I had some experiences that just made everything kind of stick together. Really the last 5 years since I left the mainstream medical field to pursue integrative medicine and holistic health and you know, genetics-based, genomics-based medicine, everything really started to align.
And so then how did you come across my company, Accelerated Health Products, and test out the supplements, and what was your experience there?
Yeah, so over the last year, I've just had, I'll kind of go back a little bit and explain a little bit more of my over the last year journey, because it's kind of insane and awesome. But I was kind of experiencing a lot of fatigue. And so one of the things that I have struggled with since I had my son 12 years ago, almost 13 years ago, was Hashimoto's hypothyroidism. So one of the things with the fatigue that I've constantly been digging to is my thyroid function okay? Is my thyroid balance okay? I started learning about reverse T3, and I started learning about iodine and these different components that your body needs to convert even if your T4 looks okay, you know, you need the components in your body to convert that to the T3. So really it came from this kind of area of fatigue that a lot of people have. And so in that deep dive is kind of where I initially started using the iodine. Well, come to find out, unfortunately at first that didn't really, it helped my thyroid numbers, but my fatigue was still really bad. And I have done all the workups. I do full lab panels. I do genetics. I do all the things. So I finally bit the bullet and got a full body MRI. And so when I got that MRI, everything was going fine. She's telling me I'm doing really good. And then all of a sudden her voice kind of changed and she says, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, I'm still okay. I'm still the same as when I got on this table." But I noticed subtle changes, but I didn't really mention anything. And then finished the MRI, and the tech's not supposed to say anything, but I could tell she was a little teary-eyed when she got me off the MRI table. And then she took me back to the changing room where both of my children were waiting for me, and she just lost it. She had to just say goodbye and leave. Well, my husband was getting his MRI at the same time, and his results come back normal, blah, 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 blah. Come to find out, I had about a week later, I get a call on my way to yoga that I have a huge mass on my kidney. They're not sure if it's on my kidney or from my adrenal gland. And so I literally go through my day. I had yoga. I started making some calls. Luckily, once you find the problem in an MRI or something like that, you can start using your general practitioners to do more research. They wanted me to have another CAT scan, so I asked my physician to order that for me. Kind of went through my day. Unfortunately, we actually had a passport picture photo session that day, which was terrible. I'm crying because I don't know what's going on with me. I accidentally smacked my daughter in the eye, one of those things. And she's like, looks like she has red eyes anyway. So that'll be fun for the next 10 years to see pictures. But we got our passports. Gosh, you can't miss those appointments. So then I got the CAT scan, got a lot of other tests. Long story short, I went in and did have the mass removed. They had no idea what it was. And when I was coming out of anesthesia, the surgeon I hear him telling my husband, it was in a capsule. It was able to remove it completely. She had a second artery, which is pretty rare, going to that kidney. And we were able to keep full kidney function, and it came out really, really well. And that's when I realized I had some energy work done 2 years before for my daughter. And the first thing that the practitioner did when she was working on me, she does Reiki on you first, and I have it recorded, is that she said, "Oh, you have a hot spot on your kidney. We're going to put this all together in a capsule so that it can come out when it's ready."
Wow.
Yeah. So it did. And I felt amazing after surgery. But then I kind of started going down this, so that was kind of my introduction of iodine. And then I started going down this rabbit hole of why would that occur? And why are all these cancers occurring in people? I'm 42 now. I was only, 41. That cancer usually wasn't found in anybody, they're usually found in their 60s. I have all these clients who are getting cancer, breast cancer, all of these things going on. And like, what is different? What is going on? And so I heard you on a podcast actually talking about the benefits of copper. And so I bought some of your copper and I started researching. And so this is the second supplement that you've led me to that is groundbreaking and life-changing. I had no idea that we could be deficient in copper to the degree that we are. I have checked labs with copper levels. I didn't know the optimal values, which I now understand. And I didn't really understand all the repercussions of the balance that copper and iron and all of these things have in our bodies. So that was kind of my second foray into, these things. And the third product that I just have grown to completely love of yours is the ancient salt. Yeah. Unlike any others, I use that every single day in a little adrenal drink with a little bit of a orange or something like that to kind of keep things going. It's really great. And anecdotally, I've just seen a lot of really good improvements in people who have issues that other things haven't helped by using your products. If you want me to go into those, I'll be happy to.
I would love to hear more.
Yeah. So one of the things I've noticed is my women with cystic breasts or anything going on there. One of the things I have them do is use a little pump or half a pump of actually like an organic progesterone cream and put a few drops of your iodine in it and rub it directly on the tissue. And I have seen cysts go away. That is really exciting. People are looking at going to surgery to have these removed, and then we see them just disappear. So I know you use castor oil.
Yes, and I actually can speak to that in my own family. One of my daughters is prone to those cysts, and she will do the castor oil, the accelerated castor oil with the iodine, and it goes away. And you have to remember when kids do something on their own, especially when it's free and they take it for granted that I have all this stuff just at their disposal, they won't do anything that doesn't work. And so the fact that she does it, you know that it's working, and it's fantastic topically for rashes, for breakouts, for acne, all of the things. So, you know, PMS symptoms, you can do a castor oil pack over your ovaries if you've got some cramps. And it's just so universal, but continue.
Oh, well, and the breast tissue is so, what I've learned is that you have so many iodine receptors in the breast tissue and the thyroid. And so those are, you know, yeah, you can use it anywhere, but those are like the actual discernible things. I've seen them in my patients as the breast lumps, and I have seen thyroid nodules go away. So with supplementing the iodine, not to mention balancing out, I'm not really sure why people with Hashimoto's were told to not supplement iodine.
I can answer that really quickly.
Please do.
Dr. Brownstein, who was on my podcast and we talk about it, he was the one to start that myth. And he said, Sara, it was within the first 5 years of my practice. I didn't know anything, and it's absolutely wrong. And here he is just screaming from the rooftop, you actually need to be high dosing iodine, just like I say, because of all the modern threats that we're exposed to. Not only do you need to be high dosing it, but absolutely you don't listen to me back from my beginning elementary years of just knowing iodine right out of the box, thinking that it's not good for Hashimoto's. And people have been promoting that myth, and the man himself is screaming at the rooftops, you know, I was wrong.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I still have, it's so hard to get rid of those things. It's so interesting. For me, I've really leaned into my intuition and trusted it because it just makes sense that if iodine is required to make thyroid hormones, then you probably, and with, what I've learned about how toxic thyroid or iodine sources can be, we're not using that nasty iodized salt anymore. So we do need to supplement with it. And boy, I have just seen a lot of improvements in people's health and functionality with the iodine. And the other one I just think is amazing is the copper. One thing I wanted to ask you about it is, why isn't it blue?
Why isn't it blue?
Yeah, it's clear.
Well, that is our purity. That is our process, and when it goes through the water implosion technology. It's an infoceutical, so there's actually very little copper in it, but it's more of a scalar enhanced bioenergetic supplement. You do still need to be careful. You don't want to overdose on copper. You can take as much silver and accelerated gold as you want. You cannot overdose on those. Copper, you have to be careful. Copper and zinc play together, and copper and iron play together. So you want to make sure that you are just taking 1 tablespoon, maybe 2 at the most a day. But it is fantastic for the brain. It has studies on Alzheimer's and dementia. It is needed for your hair color, your eye color, your skin. I love the fact that it's liquid, so you spray it on your skin to get rid of the brown spots, the age spots. You can mix it with the silver and the gold for a complete facial if you want. It is really important for your bone density, for your brain. Foods that have copper in them are known as brain food for a reason. So there's so many benefits to copper, and the reason it's become so needed lately is the spike protein has depleted copper out of our bodies at an accelerated rate, and processed foods steal copper out of the body at an accelerated rate. So we are seeing copper deficiency as almost as big of a pandemic as iodine deficiency. And for those of you who are like Krystal, wondering, are the myths correct about should I or should I not take iodine? I have articles on my website about that, and all of the studies from way back when, where they high dosed iodine, and it wasn't even the pure acceleradine iodine, it was just any other iodine, where there were no negative side effects, and they saw the goiters go away, they saw all of the things go away. Breast cancer, Dr. Brownstein has treated many women with breast cancer. Every single patient of his was iodine deficient, and the breast tissue was full of bromide. Bromide fills those receptor sites if iodine's not there. The other interesting fact is bromide can actually give you a false positive on your blood panel, and the T4 could be 4 molecules of bromide. So you really have to dig deep into the full thyroid panel, not just T4 and TSH. So just a few little tidbits about those. And as far as energy goes, those two supplements and the salt are your 3 energy boosting supplements. Salt, the accelerated ancient salt, it's not just great for your adrenals, it's great for food too. Just put it on any of your food, but it has 62 minerals or more. It helps support the iodide sodium symporter, and also the sodium potassium pump inside and outside the cell. So it's helping with that intracellular hydration. And that's what we want. Extracellular hydration is the inflammation that we don't like, the I can't pull my rings off my fingers, the bloat from having a night of sushi the day before. But the accelerated ancient salt, you will not get bloated. It's actually helping with the cellular function and your cellular energy. It's also plumping up the blood to get the toxins out that you're pushing out from the acceleradine iodine. And so they work together. If you are having a detox symptom from the iodine, you want to just take a little salt 10 to 12 minutes later, and that is going to get you out of that Herx reaction. Now, I say that very few people have an adverse reaction to the iodine. If you do, you just start slowly. It's just a sign that you have that much more toxin to get out of your body.
How about if people have what they say is an iodine sensitivity or allergy?
Yeah, that's like saying you're allergic to water. So your body needs iodine. You cannot be allergic to iodine. If you're having an allergic reaction to an iodine supplement, it is either due to the toxicity of where the iodine's coming from or from other ingredients in the iodine supplement. The acceleradine iodine comes from South America, untouched by modern man, and it's pure monoatomic form, and it is enhanced with scalar frequencies for deeper penetration, deeper detoxification, in addition to helping increase the fat oxidation, the energy producing, increasing that ATP within the mitochondria, within the cell, helping support that cell membrane that has an iodolipid value, iodine and fat value, that allows the toxins out and the nutrients in. So most people, if you're reacting to an iodine supplement or have in the past and you're afraid to take the iodine, it's the actual iodine supplement and other ingredients or where that iodine's coming from that you're allergic to. Most iodine supplements are getting their iodine from Asia, where it's been contaminated from Fukushima. That's why you have to be careful with where you're getting your kelp and your seafood from as well. I mean, we talk about seafood. It's supposed to be so good for us, and I love my fish, but you've got to know where it's coming from because of our modern toxicities that we are being exposed to.
And if somebody, I have only had one person who started the iodine who seemed to have a reaction to it. And my thought on that was absolutely, this is your thyroid is holding on to things that it is releasing into your body. So it's not the iodine that is toxic, it's detoxing you. So I love the salt idea. I didn't know that that was a fix for it. I just had her go back to the 3 drops, a day and just go very, very, very slow. And that worked fine, but it would be nice to kind of increase that detoxification process for people who are really bogged down. And one of the things, the other things, and I'm not sure how much glyphosate plays a role in iodine. It probably does a lot, but I know it plays a big role also in the copper deficiency. And I would challenge you a little bit on your kind of caution around ingesting the copper. I would say I am not afraid to have people to take more of the copper. I'll send you some literature. I think with it being water soluble and all the benefits, I am taking in a lot more of the copper than a teaspoon. So I'm not afraid of copper toxicity at all. I think it's an iron toxicity that we're seeing when it releases. So I'm buying more of that.
I love hearing that. And that we are seeing a lot of people having higher iron and ferritin numbers due to the spike protein and the backed up liver. Before I go on into that, the detox symptoms, in addition to the salt, the accelerated cellular detox powder is amazing to soak up all the toxins, get them out of your body really quickly, help manage your blood sugar, your cholesterol levels, getting excess dietary fat out of the body, increasing the bile. And that's also where the accelerated liver care comes in. This supplement is magic and has been such a game changer for me personally. I had liver issues 6 months ago where my liver enzymes were through the roof due to a toxic supplement I was taking and also due to the spike protein. And just within 2 weeks, my liver enzymes went from 700 down. Wow. And that was with the accelerated liver care, because if our livers are backed up, then we aren't going to be processing the toxins and the proteins in our fats. And that's where the unexplained weight gain comes in, the unexplained inflammation, brain fog, all of these symptoms. And that accelerated liver care is opening those pathways, allowing all the toxins to get out, soaking up the excess estrogens as well. So when you're supporting your detox pathways, the iodine is going to be able to do so much more magic without any of the negative side effects. And then you pair that with the accelerated cellular detox powder, the accelerated salt, and your energy goes through the roof. You're getting the benefits from the iodine, not just from the detox, but for your thyroid health. And that brain fog lifts, the mitochondrial health increases, and we are only as energetic as our mitochondria are healthy, right? So the number one cause for mitochondrial failure, iodine deficiency. So we've got to get the iodine in, but we want to make sure that we're getting the toxins out so we actually feel amazing instead of that little blip of the detox flu symptoms. And that's where the supplements really work synergistically together. So you're quickening the path to optimal health.
Absolutely. And I think that the detox pathways are just so important to solidify and to heal. Otherwise, we're talking, this is, hormones and estrogen toxicities from chemicals, xenoestrogens. It's not our natural estrogen that's causing the problem. It's really the other things. So we really just have to have all of that working in perfect order in order, to feel great. And I will say, after my surgery, I felt so good that I did decide to take, I thought, well, maybe it wasn't my thyroid. Maybe it wasn't, this, maybe it wasn't that. And I did go a little time without the iodine, and I did notice a dip in energy, and, you could tell your thyroid numbers aren't quite as good and that type of thing. So I can definitely speak to the fact that it does indeed help on a daily basis.
Amazing, Krystal. I am so grateful for you and for your support and for your feedback, because like I mentioned in the beginning, all of the awards in the world don't mean much if it's not working for all of you. And I went through my own health crisis and rock bottom, and my son having leukemia, and my daughter going through anemia, allergies, asthma, and my other daughter going through, learning issues and PMS symptoms that were just horrific due to the spike protein. I truly believe God puts me through all of these situations so that I can come to you with answers and help all of you. And that is my life purpose, and it feeds my soul. This type of conversation is just going to keep me on a high for a week, because it just makes me so excited that I am helping other people. And then in turn, people like you are helping even more people, and it's just a chain reaction. So I appreciate everything you're saying. Is there anything that we're missing?
Yes, I want to thank you. I mean, part of my healing journey truly has been that I recognized intuitively when I heard your voice, the integrity that you had, and I feel the integrity in your products. So I just really appreciate what you have brought and what you've shared. And I think as a healer, a lot of times we feel like we shouldn't get sick or we shouldn't have these experiences. So I really appreciate you being honest and open and saying this is happening and this is how it, same, with me, I think there was some judgment. I think I had to have my journey and have a cancer diagnosis to know, hey, there's more to this story than what individuals are doing. And we need to not have judgment around it. And we just need to figure it out and help people get better. So you've done that on a huge scale, and I appreciate you so much. And your supplements are amazing. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Well, thank you, Krystal. And I realize that I'm just going to continue being used as I'm going through another health crisis that I'll speak about soon when I get all of the answers that I want to formulate and share. But I've realized that I'm like, okay, God, what's next? Let's just give it to me, because then I know it's something that I have to help others with. And this world is ever changing. The toxins are ever changing. The environment's ever changing. And so there are going to be new crises, and there's going to be new challenges. And all I can say is chronic disease and health issues are reversible. There is hope. Do not give up hope. If you don't feel your best, there are answers out there, whether it's me or Krystal or someone else, there are answers out there. And if there's something that I've taught my children, it is to know that, because they've all gone through their own struggles. And I'm like, I can't wait to see what God's going to do with this. And they do. And we always circle back and go, well, let's highlight what we learned from this experience so we can take it for the next one and strengthen those muscles in our body to deal with bigger challenges that are going to come our way. And I know they're going to come my way, as they are you. And it's only part of our journey. It's meant to be, and it's what we do with it. That's the difference, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, Krystal, where can people find you if they want to hear your podcast or just connect with you?
We're at Rev Health Revolution and RevHealthRevolution.com and RevHealthRevolution@gmail.com.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for speaking out today and sharing your story. I know this is going to hit home with so many people out there.
Thank you.
Gosh, what a story. Thank you to Krystal. And I would love to hear from all of you. If you have your own story, please share. That is what fuels my soul. And if you don't know where to start and you want to start on some supplements, you can go to the website at SaraBantaHealth.com. Get your free supplement protocol that I will personally put together. Follow me on social media at Accelerated Health Products and join the free group coaching. That's where people like Krystal and I talk back and forth, ask questions. I post tips and tools on a daily basis. The link is at SaraBantaHealth.com. You can find all of my podcasts at Accelerated Health with Sara Banta on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, E360, iHeartRadio, and over 100 different platforms. Share this great story of Krystal's with your friends. That will speak volumes compared to just a lecture possibly that I give. And you can also use coupon podcast10 to get 10% off your first order. Remember, I'm live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so join me next time for more ways to unlock your health potential.